by teaching maths in such a way that become very easy, very practical, hands-on material. Students are engaging, involved in doing, so that you cannot be writing every day on the board, or just writing every day. That is not good for, especially when we have the case from the early beginners. It's very difficult to start in that way. Because of that, development of instructional materials in mathematics classrooms are very, very important. Outside Africa, they don't joke with this. They really, really use it a lot. But because of the electricity and internet and other stuff, it becomes difficult in some part of Ghana and Africa as well. And we are going to look at both. One we can use physical, and one we can use online, the virtual one. That is where we need internet. So the question is, how many schools in Ghana, in basic schools, are having internet connected? Even talk about electricity or even television. That's the first question we should ask ourselves. So if we're looking at them, it doesn't mean that we don't need them. We hope that one day our children will be in the position of where other kids are outside Africa. One day Ghana will change, definitely. It cannot be there forever. I know some schools also, they pay good money, so they try to get internet, Wi-Fi, everything in the classroom for the student. Okay, so that is the general thing about the instructional materials in mathematics. And then in this course, we are going to uh, talk about the 6 units as usual. And each 6 units, we are going to look at manipulatives for teaching and learning mathematics, which is for today. And then we move on to the unit 2, which is the use of projectors, pictures, charts, models, audio, visual aids, and computer-related materials for teaching mathematics. And then we move on to number, numeration, and fractional teaching materials. We also look at unit 4, geometry and measurement teaching materials. And then unit 5 and 6, which is your presentation, will be learning by design in mathematics. It's very important. And also possible internet resources for teaching mathematics. That's also very, very important. So that is the general overview of this course. I tried to use a PowerPoint for the previous one, but this one, let's try to use the PDF as well so that we bring the two. Okay, so that is the general. So we start with unit 1, session 1 of today. That is a definition of mathematical manipulatives. So let's look at the introduction. I want somebody to take us through the introduction some more. So that's it's manipulative. So you should prepare that you'll be teaching me more. This course. Yes. So go ahead. Who is taking us through? Yes, I have Dia. Dia, can you go ahead, please?
Okay, welcome to the first session of Unit 1 of this model. This session will help you as a prospective mathematics teacher to select mathematical manipulatives for your mathematics lesson. It is an indisputable fact that it is an indisputable fact that mathematical manipulatives is or are very crucial and required by mathematics teachers to carry out effectively the teaching and learning of the subject. This, to a large extent, will facilitate the realization of various specific objectives of teaching. It would also, in a way, allow you as a prospective mathematics teacher to communicate to your students in an effective and more desirable ways. The section will focus on the definition, rationale, and criteria for using mathematical manipulatives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dia. So that is a basic introduction to the course, or not the course, rather today we are going to the subsection unit 1, the subsection 1. So we are, by the end of this, you should know, before we even go that, having gone through this introduction, I hope you know manipulatives. Don't talk about manipulatives in the various schools. You have been teachers. What comes to your mind when we say manipulative? It's about what's manipulative at all? Maybe we have to talk about that before we go. Can somebody tell us what you know manipulative is? Suleiman, can you put your camera off? Yes, Steven, manipulative, what comes to your mind?
So when we talk of something being manipulative, that is how you manage to get something done, or how you're able to make something work the way you want it for you.
Can you repeat?
When you talk of the word manipulative here, it is how you're able to make something work the way you want for you, or how you want something to be done in your preference.
Oh, okay. That is okay. That is okay. That's very fine. That's very fine. All right. Any other contributions? Okay. That is from Steven. Thank you. So let's look at, as Dia made mention that mathematics manipulatives are very crucial because required by teachers to carry out effectively the teaching and learning of this subject. So you're learning your math subject, you need the manipulatives because at the end of the day, as a teacher of mathematics, it's going to help you to carry your teaching and learning effectively, and then also how you are going to carry the subject, and as well as communicate to your student exactly the concept you are teaching. So that is the essence of manipulative. So by the end of this section, you should be able to define what manipulative is or are, and then also identify some examples of manipulatives, materials for teaching and learning of mathematics. I don't know. Do you hear feedback from my computer? It's like it's making noise. Is there any feedback noise or you're okay? There's no feedback.
Please say we are okay. It's okay.
All right. And then if one way or the other you realize that my internet is not good, somebody should prompt me early so that I can rectify. Okay. So definition of mathematical manipulative. A manipulative is an object which is designed so that a learner can recognize some mathematical concept by manipulating it. So the thing is, you have that thing. Once you are manipulating that thing, you can see some pattern or some concept you understand. And the use of manipulative provides a way for students to learn concepts in a developmental appropriate hands and in an experienced way. Once you have your hands manipulating that one, you are turning it, you are adding together form of playing games, you see that the concept of what you are learning will come. And the use of manipulative in mathematics classrooms throughout the world grew considerably in popularity throughout the second half of the 20th century. Beginning, it wasn't there unless after the second half of 20th century it started. And these manipulatives are frequently used in the first step of teaching mathematical concept, first step of teaching mathematical concept, and that's of concrete representation. Normally, if you want to do the concrete representation of mathematics, we use that one. The second and third steps are representation of the second and third steps are the representation and abstract, respectively. So you have first step of teaching mathematical concept of concrete representation. Then the second one and the third one, you talk about the abstracts, that's presentational. And then that is the second and the third, you talk about the abstract nature. Because you need to know the concrete nature, and then you once you know the concrete thing of two, when you talk about number two, this is how it looks like. You take two mangoes, it's two. Now representational, how do you represent it by this? You have your representation of the symbol of the two, and then you have your abstract, the abstract nature of it. So mathematical manipulative can be purchased or constructed by the teacher because some of them are in the market, in the supermarket, and you can also order some online. Some are also payable online. An example of some of these manipulatives are we have some commercial ones. Some of the commercial ones are the tangrams. I don't know whether you know tangrams. And then we have Resenates, rods, we have Numicon pattern, Dean's blocks. We will talk more about the Dean's block or the multi-base blocks. We are going to use it to solve some form of quadratic expressions and other stuff. And then we also have so many of them, base 10 blocks, pattern blocks, colored chips, fraction, or strip blocks. These are all forms of the examples of the commercial use of manipulatives. But we have so many definitions, the standard definition for that has been given to manipulatives, and we are going to look at maybe two of them. We have some few of them. The first one is according to Cairo 1991. He said that manipulative materials are objects or items, or you can say things that appeal to several of the human senses. So it appeals to your senses. So once you take it, you have to feel it, you have to taste it, all of your senses, several. Though not all this, it can be all or several of them. And that is the object that allows the individual student to be able to feel, touch, handle, and move around for the sake of abstracting the necessary concept. Because you want to understand the concept in that, you should be able to feel it, you should be able to touch it. And then based on that, you can abstract the concept from it. So the process of feeling, touching, or moving the object around the senses of individual are simulated since the students see them in various patterns and groupings, as I've said. Because you have it, you turn it, you touch it, you feel it. At the end of the day, you are going to feel it yourself. So that's very good to teach, especially from the early stage of our students in the earlier stage of school or preschool. It's very good to use manipulative everywhere. There are some schools when you enter, there's one school I entered in Kumasi. In fact, I really like their classrooms because when you enter there, you see they have so many manipulatives there and the students are enjoying. Not some schools, you go and see only cars and then playing things, students be sitting on it, driving cars and every day just playing. But some of them, though they are playing, they are learning from form of manipulatives. So manipulative materials can also be seen as concrete materials that can be used when exploring mathematical ideas or when you are performing your mathematical tasks or when you are solving mathematical problems. So you can use that concrete materials. And then another way is the manipulative materials are specific mathematical apparatus. Since science, they have apparatus. Mathematicians also have apparatus. So our apparatus are the manipulatives. Or you can talk about the instructional materials. All the material becomes apparatus. So the apparatus designed to represent explicitly and concretely mathematical ideas that are abstract. So if the idea is abstract, before the student can abstract that thing, they have to feel it concrete. They have to know what is it. So you design to represent that one symbolic or whether touching it, student will understand before they can obtain the abstract nature of that mathematical concept. And then manipulatives are materials also seen as physical objects because you are going to feel it, touch it, that are used to visualize abstract concepts and promote learning in mathematics instruction because you are going to feel it in your classroom. So there are some physical objects you are going to aid you to teach in your classroom to help students understand. So it's like whatever we are I'm talking about is more of repetition. You see, there's no difference between the first, second, and third point. We have different, but you can see they are all having the same idea. Maybe the one I'll talk about is the last one. That is, they can be used as models, and these models are very, very important. Manipulative can be used as models. So during the instructional process by both instructors and then learners, and they hold a virtual and tactical appeal as such. So they are designed primarily for hands-on manipulation. So that is another way we can also use manipulative as models during time of teaching to help make teaching very easy. So that is the general idea of mathematical manipulative. And the next question is, what's the research says? What are the research talking about manipulatives? So we talk about the NTC. Can somebody take us through what the research says about manipulatives? What are the research saying about manipulative? Yes, somebody should take us through that because now we know what manipulative are. Yes, Richard Latte.
Okay, it says that a lot of research works has been done on manipulative materials, and key amongst them is the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. The National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, NTC 2000, held the view that one, most valuable learning occurs when students actively construct their mathematical understanding. Two, provide opportunities for children to explore, develop, test, discuss, and apply ideas. And the third one, the use of physical materials is conducive to the concrete kinds of learning that lay the foundation for the development of mathematical understanding.
Okay, thank you very much. I think they are self-explanatory. Or you want to add something, Natty? Okay, so the first one, you see that it helps students to construct their own mathematical understanding. And that is what we want our students to do. They should construct, let them teach, learning by discovery. Let them discover their own understanding of what they are teaching, or what you are learning rather, what you, the teacher, you are teaching. And then also give them the opportunity to explore, test, and apply ideas they have learned. And then finally, it's also physical materials. Is the use of physical materials, like the use of manipulative, is more conducive to the concrete kinds of learning, because you are going to feel it, you are going to touch it, so it makes it more concrete nature of learning. And once you have the concrete nature, or you have the concrete understanding of the concept you are learning, then when you want to learn it abstractly, it becomes so easy for you to grab the concept. So that is what the research says. The next question is manipulatives the way to go for all students? That's the question. Is or are manipulative the way to go for all students? We don't want to read. I want some two people to tell us if manipulatives should be go for all students or not all students need manipulatives. And somebody tell us, do you think manipulatives is or are for all students? Yes, we have Abeka. After Abeka, something also talk. Yeah, Abeka, can you talk
All right.
about it?
All right, so thank you. So, I think manipulative materials should be for all students. The reason
Okay.
being is that since it is from known to unknown, where that's the concrete, where the child is able to feel, hold, and then make good use of whatever apparatus that he or she has been given to understand the concept of mathematics. And then also, when the child is able to, from the concrete, able to dive into the abstract, I think it's going to help the child from that range of concrete, that's from known to unknown, where the child will be able to manipulate mathematical apparatus to understand mathematics very well. So I think that mathematics, that's manipulative materials should go for all students, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Abeka. Yes, something. What do you want to say?
I think my brother,
Or you yes.
yeah, my brother have said all because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be
All right. All right. Thank you very much. So we can see that that is it. So the first one should be noted that uh it should be noted that it is generally accepted that manipulative material should provide a strong basis for conceptual learning and recommended to be used by all students because of strong basis of conceptual learning. That's one of the reasons. You can also talk about materials to large extent can be used to support students with exceptional learning needs. Some students are exceptionally, they need additional guidance. You may be teaching in class, student may not understand, maybe adding one, two, three, or some few. The student may be suffering, but bring abacus and see, or bring something the student will do because of the enjoyable nature or the concrete nature of how it is. The student can grab the concept very easy. So in that instances, You may say that some manipulatives are to be used by certain students, but everybody need it. But others need it more than others, and it depends on the individual needs. Also, manipulative materials is equally variable for those students in need of remediation. So those who need of remediation too, they also need manipulatives too in their study. So those are some of the reasons why it's used by all students. If yes, if no, you have to also justify. And then another one is the gifted students. So there are so many of them, they can ask you to write maybe 3 or 4. Okay, you should learn how to write them. Another one is the gifted students. Some gifted students also need manipulatives in their study. It often allows these students to pass through the concrete stage of learning much better and promptly, because no matter how you are, nobody was born to know everything. You will learn. No matter how high IQ you have, you need to pass certain stages. Because of that, if your IQ is very high, you are good, your computational or your numerical ability is very high, and then you can learn. Then when manipulators come in, it's now just promote you very fast or increase the space of learning. And then you can also talk about that's about external one, because it helps them to understand, especially they see the spatial visualization of the object, and then it also helps them to increase their creativity. So not only those who need remediations, the gifted child also need them, and then those with special needs also need them, and then everybody needs manipulation. These are some of the examples of the manipulations, manipulative materials for teaching and learning of mathematics. There are a lot of them. I don't know whether we have talked about them, but our advice, you make sure now we have internet, start by typing them one by one and see the picture of it. You see at least the image on it on the internet. So these are some of them. These are all good to be used in classrooms, and the student love doing it. Every day your child will go to school because they really need manipulative. All right, God, you are enjoying playing with manipulative in classroom. All right, that is about the manipulative session one. What is manipulative? And then 5 mathematical manipulative, which we need. And then we have also gone through the reason why is manipulative good, or is it or are needed by every student. Any question at this stage? Okay, so I think it's not difficult. Now move on to the section 2 of unit 1, which is talking about ways, do's and don'ts of using mathematical manipulatives. Do's and don'ts of using mathematical manipulative. We are going to look at them. You'll be telling me them. I'll only read about the objective. By the end of this session, we should be able to suggest at least 5 ways in which mathematical manipulatives can be used, and then identify some do's and don'ts of using mathematical manipulative for teaching mathematics. They are very important, because if care is not handled, some teachers, I made mention that one in the morning, because they are lazy, they go to class and there's manipulatives, especially those who are teaching in nursery, class 1, class 2, and they have a child. If the person is a woman and the person is having a child, sorry, I'm not saying women are lazy, be careful. I'm not saying that if the person is having a child and then the person is already tired, taking care of the child, the person can just give them some manipulative work for the student to start playing around it the whole day. It means that care must be taken. So let's see the do's and don'ts, and then why we use manipulatives. Okay. You are going to tell me below are some of the ways in which manipulatives can be used. Which ways we can use? So we look at the first objective, ways in which manipulative can be used, because actually there are so many of them. But here I want you to tell me one, just give me a summary, and then you tell me, you mention number one, and then summary, explanation, something small, how you understand, and then we move on. Let's here everybody must talk. Let's learn habit of talking. Okay. So we have 9 of them. You can select any of them, we have about 10 of them, 10. So any of them. All right. So I see Steven. Please, the rest get ready. After Steven, we have Suleiman, Habiba, Yakubu. Get ready. Bright, Asian, get ready, something, and then let's. All right,
All
go
right,
ahead,
sir.
Stephen.
So taking the first point, that's introduce a new mathematical concept. Here, one typical example is using abacus to teach addition, subtraction, division, and then there's here you're able to use that's using the manipulative. You'll be able to use that to teach the child multiplication or addition when it comes to when you want to teach addition as a mathematical concept or multiplication that's using the signs in adding and then multiplying and numbers.
Okay, I think your network was breaking, but is it okay for the class?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear him? All right. I don't know whether it was on my side. Okay. So for introducing a new concept, he has explained it. That's very fine because when you want to introduce a new concept, it's very good to use mathematical manipulative, especially at that age. All right. So we have any of them, anybody for another one? I say we can explain any of them, not necessarily the second one. After Stephen, who is going? Beauty,
Yeah, number 7,
number 7.
provide opportunities for students to become active participants in their own learning experience. So, when they are using the manipulative, it makes them active. It's make them happy to even learn whatever that you are teaching them. Thank you.
Okay. To become active, yeah, because they are doing it with their hands, they are touching it, they are ma- playing with it, because they are manipulating, turning around, they are feeling it, so they become more active, not passive. Thank you, Beauty. Anybody with the other one? We have Richard.
Sir, reinforce previous learning.
Okay,
Uh,
reinforce previous learning. Okay,
I know as a teacher, you should also, be on them, and then you see how best the previous learning, how um, the effective was before we can, proceed to the other lesson.
okay, okay. That is very fine. That's very fine. Reinforce previous learning. Maybe another word, maybe you can just strengthen or to refresh your previous learning. Whatever you have learned previously, more of introducing new topic like RPK. So it help you to tighten
Yeah,
what you have learned already before you move on, as you have said. Thank you.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
have the next question. We have Rich.
Rich.
Uh, Yakubu, your hand
Yes,
was
sir.
first. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm taking the provide for individual style. With the individual style, you introduce the new concepts in a in the simple language, and then after that, you give each child their own set of manipulative material, so that the individual or each child will work on that manipulative material to perform the work that you have assigned to them. For example, when we are teaching them a fraction, you can give them the fraction circle for each of the students to perform with it.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you. Cool. But let me add to what you said. Thank you. But we know that you have different learning styles. Some learn by seeing, by
Yes, sir.
smelling, by feeling, by touching,
Yes,
and other stuff.
yes,
So when you have your manipulative, some students, those who learn by touching, they will touch it. So they're easy to learn. Who learn by seeing, they will see it. Who learn by feeling, they will also feel it. And then they will learn. So actually it helps to cater for all the learning styles of individuals. So thank you very much, Yakubu. I added up to what you explained. Can we have the next person? That is Samson.
Okay, I'm taking the number 5, faster creativity thinking process.
All right.
Okay, I mean, using the manipulating material, I think it helps the students, especially for bringing out their own idea and maybe think fast. Especially when you're going to teach a topic like maybe shapes, when you're able to bring some of the shapes like rectangle and those things, even introduce it, they will be able to think and able to know what we are going to talk about in their lesson or in their lesson.
Okay. Thank you very much. And that is very fine because you brought the 10, they have seen the 10. Therefore, it helps them to increases the speed at which they become creative thinkers. All right. Thank you. Can we have the next, maybe one person, we stop the race. We have Amos. Amos.
Okay. So I want to talk about the third point.
Third point. All right.
Provide
That's it.
concrete representation of abstract ideas. So most
Okay.
of the math topics that we teach them abstractly. So teaching them abstractly, some of the students may not understand. But if we provide the manipulatives, they using the manipulatives will make the lesson more concrete, more enjoyable to them. And they will understand. That is how I will.
All right, that's very fine. So we are going to learn something about CRA very soon, concrete representational abstract. That is good, very fine. It makes that concrete, they will feel it. But I think the part missing was the abstract nature, where the students are going to use symbols, numbers, and equations to represent. But the representational one becomes the pictorial one, represent pictorial picture, the pictorial picture the 10. They have pictured the 10, the pictorial one, and then the concrete one become the physical. So in the first place, you bring a manipulator, they are going to touch it. They are going to feel it. This rectangle, the nature of rectangle, it looks like this. They are touching it. Now they are picture it in their mind. That they have picture it in their mind. That's the representation touches the concrete. Now they have represented in your mind representation in pictorial view, and now the abstract nature. Triangle have three sizes. So that is using the number or something to the number. You can use number to represent the abstract nature or the symbol. Area is by pi, this and this. So thank you very much. So concrete representation abstract is very important. You should, as a mathematics teacher, you should know that one very well because you need it to teach your students, especially when they are higher level. That's the abstract stage. We don't care about the concrete and then representational nature. All right. And then those people who don't understand the concrete representational abstract, it's difficult when you start doing your thesis and you want to explain your graphs. It becomes very difficult to explain your graphs. People will just be talking the graphs, this and this, and the graph and this and graph. You read so many articles, you see that they don't give any representation and the abstract nature of the graph or the graph they have done. They are just giving some concrete aspects. So it's very important. All right. Can we have the last person? The rest you can do it yourself. Yes, we have Richard Latte.
I'm taking the 8 point.
All right.
It provides an opportunity for students to exchange viewpoint with their classmates. So
Okay.
at this point, when they tend to use manipulatives, that is when they tend to exchange what they are seeing. That is where what we call abstraction takes place. We tend to draw the common differences between the object they are manipulating. Then at the end of the day, at some point, we say they are talking mathematics, meaning that they engage with group discussions with their fellow colleagues and tell them what they have experienced so far. And this
Thank you.
helps to build that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I won't talk more because of time, but point 6, provide experience in problem solving situation, and then 9, diversify education activities, and that one, I think you can explain yourself. At least you're saying almost 6. But let me also talk about concrete representation abstract. I didn't know it's here. I've already explained to you, but let me talk about that. Now, concrete nature, when do you say it's concrete? Something is concrete. We have this scenario here, assuming that we have, let me take this marker. So you have a dog, the dog, doing the doing stage. Now you are doing the 10, you are doing the 10, you are doing that 10. So the doing stage, I'm adding 1 plus 1, you're using your hand to do. So when you are doing something, you're using your hand to do. You are adding 3 cars together to get 4, you're adding this to get, so you're doing with your hands. So learners have hands on physical. So that becomes the doing stage, you're using your hand to do. That's actually the concrete. So you use your hand on physical materials and then models or manipulative to represent numbers and unknowns. And then the next one is representational. Representational. That's seeing stage, or you can say the pictorial stage. The seeing stage, learners draw or use pictorial representation of the models. Because if you don't know how it is going, you've not seen it, you cannot draw. So here you may not see it, but because of the nature they have told you or they have told you, you can picture it in your mind. So that becomes the pictorial representation of the models. That is the representational stage. And then the abstract nature. Here you can talk about the symbol or the symbolic stage. So here, all the equations you are using, all the symbols, formulae that become the abstract nature involves numbers as abstract symbol of pictorial display. So now you have your pictures. Now you're going to use numbers to represent what you have. So here you can also talk about conceptual understanding in mathematics will usually follow this order. And that's how it is. You should have your concrete, you have representation, and then you have your abstract nature. So therefore, to use manipulative to introduce lesson, it helps you to pass through all these stages. That is the concrete representation, abstract. And there are several areas in which manipulative can be used in the teaching and learning of mathematics. These are so many of them. You can use to teach. You can just try to. You can ask you specific one. For instance, if I want to teach sequence and series, which of the following manipulative will be best to use in teaching sequence and series? You should be able to learn about some of them, and then spatial relationships, numeration, geometry, fraction, measurement. So please use a good time. Go to internet and Google. Use a good. Don't rely more on the ChatGPT. Use other sources in addition to ChatGPT or Gemini is also good. So you can find which of the manipulatives best fit for teaching these topics and many more topics. It's good. Many more topics you should look for them. Let's look at the some of the do's of using manipulatives. Maybe 3, 4 is okay. Some of the do's of using manipulatives, I need 3, 4 people to talk. We can now move. Yes. Can you help us? Those who have not talked, try to talk now. We beg you. We have Stephen, and then after that, Richard. Stephen.
All right, so taking the second one to prepare the pupils in advance.
Okay.
That's the do's. Yes, sir.
How can it prepare the pupils in advance? We have already talked about that, right?
Yeah, yes, please.
All right. So then I think, okay, let me read here because we already talked about that. As we said, to prepare the pupils in advance, and then consider the pedagogical and physical criteria in selecting the materials. Do consider, because if you want to do, you do the manipulative. The first one was do consider the pedagogical and physical criteria in selecting the materials, and then do prepare the pupils in advance, because assuming tomorrow you want to use a certain manipulative which requires a lot of time, you have to prepare them, your people. That's why you're using the word pupils here to show that from the early stages, maybe preschool, pre-high, preschool is the primary schools and other stuff. So you have to prepare them so that they just join. Maybe some manipulatives you have to wear some dresses or something. You have to prepare them, then they prepare and come. And then do prepare in advance for the activities. As a teacher, you just don't come to class and then get yourself in a rut confusing because you don't know what to do. You have to prepare the manipulative setup and see how it is working before you come to class, so that you don't come and now you are confused and the students are also confused. And then do construct activity that provide multiple embodiment of the concept. Do construct activities that provide multiple embodiment of the concept, so that you don't, if you are teaching a concept, there must be, the activity should have so many multiple of the concept, not only one aspect, so the manipulative can be very useful. You don't need to teach only one concept, maybe so many aspects of concept should be teaching. For instance, if I'm going to teach using genes blocks to teach, I should be able to use it to do factorization, I should use it to multiply, I should use it to solve quadratic equation. I'm going to use that one to teach quadratic equation. So you prepare the activity in such a way that you can use to teach so many aspects of the concept you are teaching, not only one, so that you don't waste money and time. At least 2 or 3 aspects of the topic or the concept should be able to cover. And then do set and maintain behavior standards for manipulatives. You know that students are your consumers. Now that if you don't have standard behavior standards, they can be playing with it and then even get themselves hurt or even use the whole day playing around it. There must be a behavior standard. You should state and set the purpose of the manipulative within the mathematics lesson. So the students should know this manipulative we are using today, this and this is the purpose, and this is what you want to achieve. And once that's achieved, you are done. You move on so that you don't waste time. You don't waste time. And because if you waste time, the point 7 is going to be not be achieved, because you do allow students an introductory time frame for free exploration, so that you don't give them so much pressure on the time. There might be introductory time, because manipulative are time consuming, and because of that, there might be a lot of time. Yes, a good time, not too much, but good time. And then another one important is the cooperative. It is very important. When you are using manipulative, you have to make sure there's cooperation or cooperative between the student. Just make sure there's cooperative and partner work to enhance mathematics language. So if somebody don't know, let other people, they equally help. One thing I want to advise you is that make sure you do this in your classroom. As a teacher, you teach one example, second example, third, fourth, ask the student, do in a group. You go around and see, discuss with your friend. Let them discuss with their friends and come out with a solution. Because not only teaching is where we do cooperative learning, also manipulative, we have to ensure it is working there. Okay. And then the material to be used should be enough so that it doesn't get finished and students cannot achieve their goal. They must actually leftover of materials rather than when there's shortage of material. The reason is that when there's such shortage, they cannot get the concept they are learning. They can't see it clearly. There must be enough. Okay. And then some of materials, you have to make sure it is in working condition. If you want to fix, and then if you are using an abattoir and then you are using the Dean's block and you know that some part is broken, you make sure you fix it. If you're using die and then you see that some of the faces is numbered 2 and or where the face is 3, one of them is covered, you cannot see clearly. It should be so confusing. You make sure everything is in good shape. All right, so tell me the dons of manipulative and try to summarize it. What are the dons of or don'ts of using manipulatives? Maybe you tell us, can we have 3 people to explain to us so that we move ahead? Not always, only few people are talking. Okay. Paul, can you go ahead? Paul, I see your hand up. Can you go ahead?
Sir, please, I'm talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't have to hurry the activity with the children. You need to take your time and then explain it to them. Let them get the concept well so that they will be able to understand. Otherwise, when you rush, they will not be able to get the concept right.
All right.
Thank you.
So do not hurry. That's very good. Bright Asian.
All right, so I'm taking the first one. Don't or do not make excessive use of the material. So you were explaining that some of the materials we can use them in teaching multiple concepts, but we should limit them at least two or three is okay. Not that we use it to teach more than these numbers. It makes the children or the learners confused. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. But maybe let me add something small. Don't make excessive use of the materials. You see, excessive use of something. Yeah, I agree with you. You don't need to use to teach multiple. So too much concept at a go, it can be confusing. That is right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that is
Please,
right. Yes.
with excessive to can also lead to the negative way where because they've used it for quite a long time, they
Mhm.
become too familiarized, so they try to play with the whole thing. You know, though you may be serious about it, but they play around because they've used it for quite a number of time period.
Yeah. That is also another excessive use of that thing because always you're
Okay.
using the same thing. So it's better you vary the manipulatives. You don't use the same manipulative every day. Is that fine? So
Yeah.
it's almost getting the same answer like what your brother gave. Because you're using to teach so many concepts, the same thing over and over. That's okay. Can you have also Felix?
Yes, I'll take the last one.
All
Don't
right.
rush from the concrete to the abstract level. So, most students they learn from the concrete aspect more than the abstract. So when you rush from the concrete to the abstract, maybe you may get the students confused. So once you start with the concrete, you have to take your time and let them get the concept from there before you move on to the abstract aspect of the curriculum. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And that is what most that's pure lecturing approach. You want the student to know what we are doing, forgetting that if they've take them through the process, it's better than just letting them know what we are doing early. You just start introducing the concrete nature straight away. You go and give them the equation or the symbol as you've forgotten that they have to picture the thing. They have to view the thing, how it's going to be. So that's good. You don't need to overtaking the you don't need to overtake the representational aspect, which is where the student are going to picture how the thing is going to do, and that will help you also catch up with all the learning styles. All right. Thank you very much. We can now move on to any question as that end session two. Any question? All right. I think you did more of talking. Let's look at the rationale and criteria for using mathematical manipulatives. Yes, I think we need introduction small. Can you have a lady? The ladies are not talking. This math class, we need to give ladies more power. The ladies, this topic is for you, for only ladies. Can you start? Who is the first lady to start?
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
The
Can you
use of the use of manipulative in the teaching and learning of mathematics has a long tradition and solid research history. As a matter of fact, mathematical manipulatives not only allow learners to construct their own cognitive models for abstract materials, ideas, and processes, they also provide a common language with which to communicate these models to the instructor and, for that matter, other learners. In addition to the ability of manipulative to aid directly in the cognitive process, manipulatives have the additional advantage of engaging students and increasing both interests in the enjoyment of mathematics. Students who are presented with the opportunity to use manipulatives report that they are more interested in mathematics, Long-term interest in mathematics translates to increased mathematical ability. That is the name there. In this session, we will take a critical look at rationale and the criteria for selecting mathematical manipulatives.
All right, thank you very much. So we see that long-term interest in mathematics translates to increased mathematical ability. That is according to this author. So we have seen about that, the cognitive also process. That is okay. Because of time, it was just introduction. So in this section, you should be able to state the rationale for using mathematical manipulatives and then outline the criteria for selecting mathematical manipulatives. You don't need to just say, I'm going to teach maths, any manipulative you pick, any manipulative you pick. You have to have a criteria for selecting that's manipulative. And then what are the rationale behind it? Okay, can we have somebody also taking us through this section? That is, as a matter of fact, because we are dealing with ladies, this section. Which lady is the next?
As a
Please, the
matter of
lady.
fact,
Okay, go ahead, dear.
as a matter of fact, research is replete with the fact that mathematics difficulties of students with learning disabilities begin in the elementary years and continue throughout high school. That's according to Ms. Howe, 1992.
Yes, go ahead. Oh,
Take, for example, at the elementary level, most learners have problems. Hello?
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay. Take, for example, at the elementary level, most learners have problems with basic facts and computations that often continue through secondary school. For many students with disability, poor instruction is a primary cause of their mathematics difficulties. That's according to Canine, 1991, Cowley, and then the other name. Also, the quality of curriculum design can have a significant impact on the student learning. That's also Kelly et al. Numerous mathematics textbooks, materials, and manipulatives are available to assist teachers in providing instruction to students for better understanding. However, textbooks, materials, and manipulatives should be carefully evaluated before they are used in the classroom to ensure they meet student needs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now that's where Ghana has gotten to. Everybody wants to make money. So we have so many authors out there. And some of them, the kind of book they are writing, it doesn't go through any accreditation. They just come out with some books for our students or our children. And in fact, some of them are very bad. So that is it. And then learning disability is also very important. And according to here, because of most of the people with disability, they suffer because of poor instruction. The poor instruction is that they need manipulative to help them because they are disabled. And you want to teach them exactly as those people who are not disabled. That's going to be very difficult. So they must be special manipulated to aid those people, and each disabled person must have its own his or her own manipulative. We are going to look at so many different types of that. So the next question is, why do we even need manipulatives at all? So the following are some of the reasons why manipulatives can be used as or should be used by prospective mathematics teachers. All right. So we have a number of them. Maybe the ladies, can you tell us maybe four of you? We talk about the four of them. That is okay. Yes. Why we use manipulatives? Dia has spoken. Beauty has spoken. Beauty, go ahead.
So the first thing is to motivate the students.
Okay.
Manipulatives make students feel like they are playing. In other words, it makes students feel part of what they do.
Yes, can you summarize? You read and try to summarize.
Okay, so while they are using their hands, they are using their hands to play with the manipulatives, it motivates them. It makes them enjoy what they are learning.
Okay. So I'm advising every parent here, but don't use your money to buy only other stuff. Try to buy something your children can use to play instead of you buying something like car or something they'll play with it without say any benefit. It's better to use to buy something like manipulatives while they are playing with it in the house. They are also learning mathematics. Okay. Can we have another lady to go ahead? The next woman to help us. So we have only three women here. Yes. Go ahead. Vincent Ahiambro.
Is Gloria.
Oh, Gloria. Okay, you're using Vincent's phone. Okay, Gloria.
Yes, please. Please scroll up for me to see the next one. Thank you.
Okay.
It makes mathematics learning real and concrete. That's point 2. So
Okay.
as learners play with these manipulatives, mathematics becomes real to them. It's no longer abstract that they'll think it's something difficult. It becomes real to them, and then it makes understanding also very easy to them.
All right. Thank you very much. Can we have maybe the next woman in the house? The woman, don't do that. We are giving you. It's your time to talk. The next woman ahead. So in my list, I should see only 4 women on board.
It's like we don't have women in the class today.
I suspect so. Okay, Prosper, can you tell us about one? Then we can ignore the rest.
Okay. Sir, please, what did you say?
Can you explain one of them?
Okay.
Okay, because of time,
Okay.
maybe yeah, go ahead.
Point 4. It says that allows teachers to see students at work doing mathematics.
Okay.
Because the students are manipulating the object, you see that they'll be able to do mathematics. As you are going around and they are manipulating, you see that they will be learning, and you as a teacher, you see that those that are learning through the manipulative objects, they'll be doing the mathematics alongside.
Okay. Thank you very much. If you have any difficulty in any point, you let us know. But let me talk about this. Accommodate various learning styles. So if you've forgotten about your learning styles, they are here. Talk about the visual learning styles, auditory learners. You can talk about logical or mathematical, musical, rhythmical, those who like music, and then we have bodily or kinesthetic learners. So these are all form of learning styles. So the kinesthetic one talk about doing, touching, moving, and other stuff. So it's also help to cater for all these learning styles. So that's the reason why we need manipulative. But why should we select? These are the criteria for selecting manipulatives. Basically, we have grouped them into 2. The first one is pedagogical reason. First one is the pedagogical reason. And I hope you know the PCK. I hope you know the PCK.
Yes,
Pedagogical
please.
content knowledge. Okay. The material should be multi-purpose. The first one. Yes. Example, board can be used to teach or learn plane shapes, area fraction, so that you are purchasing the manipulative. It's good to use for multi-purpose. You don't use to teach only one concept. But when you are preparing the material, you make for any concept, you make sure it's can also cater for different aspects of that concept. The material should embody concrete being concept being explored. You are buying something to teach, let's say, quadratic, and that thing should embody the quadratic you are going to teach. Because you see it, you can see I can use to do this and this. The material should form the basis for abstraction. Because at the end of the day, the students are going to abstract from what concept we are teaching. And that material is going to form the basis because they have seen material, they have feel it, they have touched it. So that's form the basis for the abstraction of the concept we are teaching. And then it should motivate the student, as the lady just explained, because they love doing it. It's motivating them. It's form of fun. Or when they're getting that fun from it, they keep on doing it over and over. And then it should enhance the student's interest in learning mathematics and should be motivational. If it's not progressing students' ability in maths, every day they are using, there's no progress in the maths. It means that they will not feel like using it again. But when it's improves their mathematical ability, that means that it motivates them to learn, and that make it motivational for students to use it. And the materials should facilitate learning. It should facilitate learning. That should improve learning. Because the goal is to improve learning. Now you buy or you purchase expensive one, or school buy it for you, you waste time to prepare as a teacher. And if it's not helping in learning, then there's no need to use that manipulative. Therefore, it should facilitate learning. That's the pedagogy aspect. Then the physical aspect is also here, because students are going to use it, should be very beautiful. Okay, it should be attractive. If it's not attractive, the students don't like it. Because it's very attractive, they like it. They say, oh, everyone want to see. The thing is very beautiful. Imagine you design, this kid, the way they like watching. They see something they have never seen. They only see in television, because how nice it is. They will just want to. Not only the kids, all of us. If you hear that Despite has come to hometown with his new car, or Mahama, is it the John Mahama friend, brother? When his car he launched, that's a nice car. I don't know. I
Ibrahim.
can't nice car. Ibrahim Mahama, I can't say it's a nice car, but everybody wanted to see the car. Let's shut away coming here. The car they came for it. When he brought the car, even the old they want to see the car. So it should be attractive. The material should be durable. If not durable, sorry, you are working with students, it will be falling down. This student will collect it, this student will take it. So it's not durable, it will just spoil early. It should be simple to operate. It should not be so complex. And then the material should be sizable. Students are not energetic to carry anything that's heavy. So it should be sizable. Sometimes you give to the student, it can keep in their bags. It depends on the situation. And then it should allow for easier storage. And then also the cost is very important. Then you go and buy manipulative. We are in Ghana, and then you are buying manipulative in dollars. You can imagine if the dollar rises, how we are going to suffer. So it should be cost effectiveness. And then it should also stay for students. There shouldn't be some sharp pointed objects on, or it can cut them, or it can hurt them. No, it should be very safe to use by students because they are kids. All right, that is about the criteria of selecting manipulatives. Any question for that, so that we can move on to section? Okay. We have Steven. Can you ask your question?
So it's about contribution.
All right, yeah, that's very.
For the material, I think we should also consider the ages, the age.
Okay, that's good.
The age.
The age as in
the ages, the levels in which we are to, submit the materials to them.
Oh, okay. So where should you put that? Is it the physical or the pedagogy?
The physical.
The physical. Okay, so you consider because students in, let's say, some students in primary 5, and then those in nursery 1 or nursery 2 or class 1, I think they cannot use the same material because, so I agree with you, especially the heaviness and other stuff. The age is very important, or the level. You can talk about the level instead of the age.
Sir,
Yes.
please, you also made mention of the material we should, you said the material should be multi-purpose.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
But
We said that. Say we said that. We said the
yeah,
material should be multi-purpose.
we said that the material should be multi-purpose. But
Okay.
some materials are, I think, it has only one use. For
Okay.
instance, when we are to teach probability and we are using cards, this
Okay.
Ohese, Kalu, and then for you to get the sample, we just talk about the sample and we can just put all the material together. When we are to talk about the event, we group them, and then apart from that, I don't see any in purpose again.
Oh, I think that is your question. Can somebody respond to him?
So please, I
Okay.
think they have other purposes, but just that maybe we don't have any idea or knowledge about it. That's why. So unless
All
we
right.
do search, that's where we
All
can
right.
get what they are being used for.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I want to tell you. Sometimes you may not know. For instance, something you can use to teach probability. You can use the same thing. Probability is so many styles. You have those in core maths aspect, you have those in elective maths aspect. Don't forget about that. And then also, the fact that they are saying the material should be multi-purpose doesn't mean that the multi-purpose will come at a particular day
Okay.
because you are purchasing for the school. Maybe use this year to teach something. It can be there sometime they can use for another thing to teach. And I agree with you that it cannot also be
Okay.
mandatory. Sometimes you buy manipulative for school based on the needs or the request from the teachers. And then if of course there may be some of them, the concept that manipulative can be used to teach, your school are not even teaching that concept. It's possible like that. I agree with you, but it may also have another use. You can even check or go and see. It's also have another use. All right. Thank you. Can we move ahead to the next section? The next session, the men can help me because the ladies have not been talking. Now we want to see the virtual manipulatives in mathematics. The virtual one are very, very important. Can you just a lot, but we need to read because it's very interesting about the introduction about the virtual manipulatives in mathematics. Now we've seen the physical one. It's very important. Now let's see the virtual one. It's very necessary. Yes, any lady to take us through the hello?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Welcome to the fourth section of Unit 1 of this course. I believe you have learned quite a lot about mathematical manipulators, and not only that, but enjoying yourself as well. In this section, we will be discussing.
Please, it seems your voice is very down.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just that I use microphone.
Okay, I have a network problem, so another lady can read if.
Yeah, it's okay now. It's clear. We can hear you now.
It's clear.
Okay, all right. Hello, welcome to the fourth section of Unit 1 of this course. I believe you have learned quite a lot about mathematical manipulators, and not that, but enjoying yourself as well. In this section, we will be discussing types of mathematical manipulators, physical manipulators as well as, physical manipulators are a well-established tool for teaching mathematics that are supported by a strong research base. In recent years, online technologies such as Java and Flash applets have provided a method for creating and disseminating a new type of web-based manipulators called virtual manipulators. Existing literature on virtual manipulative has suggested a number of compelling benefits of their use. Very little direct research on virtual them. This paper provides a summary of the current literature on virtual manipulatives as well as a survey of existing collections of virtual manipulatives on the web. In addition, two very important educational areas that have not received adequate discussion in the existing virtual manipulative literature are discussed, namely online education and secondary education. Finally, suggestions for future research are made, in which it is suggested that classroom studies on the effectiveness of virtual manipulatives should be abandoned in favor of studies that will be more likely to shed light on the benefits and appropriate uses of virtual manipulators. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
So I've
Can
muted long time. Sorry. Is it okay? Is it okay for now?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir.
sorry. I muted. I have to go back. I was here that she made mention of the Java and Flash applet, and then she also made mention that how effective of the virtual manipulatives are. Then I move ahead to say that we don't talk much about introduction, but that is just motivation for the course or for the section. I talk about the objectives as define virtual manipulatives in mathematics. By the end of the lesson, I also give examples of the virtual manipulatives and then also consider factors when using virtual manipulatives. These virtual manipulatives are very important. When you go to outside Africa, you see that most of the classroom they have their board they look like have a screen and then they have connected to internet. They can just easily obtain them for their student to or to teach their student. Yeah, so you might have internet connected, and then the next problem is even if you have internet, what screen are you going to display? That's manipulative. That's another thing. Is GS willing to provide all these things in our various classroom? That's the next question. So let's dive into virtual manipulative. What does it mean? And then what is it? Okay, maybe I can give the definition by, okay, can somebody take us through the virtual manipulative because we don't want to waste much time here. Now let me take it so that I will leave some of them. Okay, so in mathematics education, the use of physical manipulative has been regarded as an effective instruction strategy for some time and supported by a strong research base. So we know that the physical one, we have talked about them. Now, the introduction of the virtual manipulatives came in recently. And then people are still doing a lot of research about that. But what is it? According to Moya et al., define virtual manipulatives as an interactive or web-based visual representation of a dynamic object that provides opportunities for conducting mathematical knowledge. So issue of an interactive is there. It's also web-based because you need to get from the web, and then it's more of visual presentation of whatever you are doing. It's going to be pictorial representation of whatever you are doing because here the students are not going to feel it, they are not going to hold it, but they can see it. Yes. So in addition, the authors identify one interaction with virtual manipulative as an example of the process of representing mathematics And this one was recommended by NCC, National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. Okay, and it's have a lot of advantage of these virtual manipulatives. We can talk about virtual manipulatives. Another definition, they are very simple online versions of physical manipulatives, because I've already told you that if you are where you cannot get that physical one, you can get it on online, just that the student cannot feel it, they cannot hold it, but they can see it. The representation aspect is there, but the concrete aspect is the one missing. This paper, okay, he has already read this one. So therefore, it is important to note that the term virtual manipulative is not universally used by developers or teachers, especially for topics beyond elementary education. Because now you are beyond elementary education, you don't need a virtual one. It's commonly to find applets that fits this definition, labeled simple as interactive math applets. And it's also common to find individuals or groups who give original names to their virtual manipulatives, like people also give another one. Joma, that's the website 2006, and they have so many groups that with gets, they also have their own, and then this group also have their own. So in conclusion, just like the physical manipulatives, you can buy from store, you can hold it, but the virtual one, or you can see the online base, the online version, or the virtual version manipulative. The same physical one, but you can get it online version. Because if you don't have physical one, how can it become online? It means you don't have the online version. So the physical one now we only have its online version. So we want to see learning mathematics with a virtual manipulative. How do we learn math with this virtual manipulative? Is it easy? How is it going to do? Can you get somebody to take us through here? Learning mathematics with virtual manipulatives.
Learning mathematics with virtual manipulatives.
Okay.
Abstract concepts are essential to understanding and performing mathematics. They are also a source of difficulty for many students who struggle with mathematics, many of whom find even basic mathematics concepts difficult to understand. A popular approach to help students understand abstract concepts is the use of manipulatives. Manipulatives enable students and teachers to represent concretely the abstract concepts that they are learning in mathematics class and to link these concepts to prior knowledge. Although they are used primarily in the elementary grades, they offer a useful means to introduce new concepts to all students.
All right, you've already talked about. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For the most part, classroom use of manipulatives has involved concrete or physical manipulatives. However, with the advent of the World Wide Web, there is a new category of manipulatives, that's virtual. Virtual manipulatives are basically digital objects that resemble physical objects and can be manipulated, usually with a mouse, in the same ways as their authentic counterparts. Virtual versions of concrete manipulatives typically used in mathematics education, such as Bayesian blocks, Cuisenaire rods, and tangrams, are available at no cost online. Many available virtual manipulatives are paired with structured activities or suggestions to aid implementation in the classroom. As virtual manipulatives are relatively new, there is limited research on their effectiveness. However, research into concrete manipulatives provides insight into their possible uses and benefits to learning. This part of the model focuses on virtual manipulatives and provides guidance in how to realize the potential of virtual manipulatives to support mathematics learning.
All right, thank you very much. So you can see that I was trying to analyze something They are not different from what we learned in the physical one. The only thing is that we are going on online version. Like what we are learning now, it's not different from what we were doing, we were doing when it's physical. We are still learning, just that it's now virtual. So that is the nature of the virtual manipulatives. But can somebody tell me, do you have different apart from one being physical, one being online, or the digital aspect? Do you have difference between the two? Because the authentic counterparts is referring to the physical manipulatives. So in the same way, we are going to use the digital one, the physical manipulator. The same way, you can also use the virtual one by using your computer to navigate or to turn it and then mouse whatever to let the students know. And so that's one also become very cheap because when you buy one, it can be used for over and over. Those that are free, you just get them free and download, you don't need to go and buy anything. It can be on your computer forever once you have backup storage. So it is also very cheaper as well. All right, so that's about the virtual manipulatives. So it also helps students who struggle in mathematics. Students who struggle in mathematics often have trouble connecting virtual and symbolic representation. They have an example here using for example, using the pan balance numbers. Numbers is a manipulative that is based on the balance pans that are used with younger children to demonstrate the concept of equality and how is it done to demonstrate the concept of equality. So with this virtual manipulative, students enter different number expressions. Assuming you enter these number expressions, we have them on each side of the balance. If the two expressions are equivalent, the pans are shown balanced. Virtual representation. So you just enter the number. They are not here, then you put something on it. You just enter. And the equation is presented in an on-screen window, symbolic presentation. So because when the equation comes, it becomes symbolic, and that's the abstract nature. So that is about the virtual manipulation. But you can also use the virtual manipulation for more complex stuffs and then make better understanding of concepts you are learning. Because it's very cheap. It's very cheap. You don't need to pay more money to get them. Okay, so you can read a lot about that. You can read about the base 10 blocks also for learning. Let's look at ways of choosing virtual manipulators. What necessitates the choice of virtual manipulative? Why do you choose? Can we have somebody to take us through that one? Why do you choose for what are the choosing a virtual manipulative? Yes, I know you are tired. Richard, your hand is up. You want to help us? Oh, I saw Abotsi.
Although
So Richard, take us Abotsi will help you along the way. Take us read the paragraph, then the steps Abotsi will help us.
Although relatively new, virtual manipulatives can support learning in mathematics for all students, including those with disabilities. As with concrete manipulatives, they need to be integrated into the curriculum and not just used as an adjunct activity. Used wisely, they provide students with opportunities for guided exploration, helping them to build a solid understanding of mathematical concepts and demonstrate learning. Several factors should be considered when selecting virtual manipulatives.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell us the first one? Now let's try to explain some more. You tell us one and then just give the summary of that. There are only 4. Let's go through them. Factors you consider when choosing manipulative. Anybody at all? Yes, Tevia, you seem to have muted. Okay, anybody at all? All right. Abeka, can you?
Yes, sir. So that's can the level of difficulty be adjusted for different students? Yes, because we have individual abilities and capabilities. So knowing the ability of a student, you can adjust the difficulty. That's the settings of the virtual manipulative device can be adjusted based on the settings. So sometimes they will tell you that if you want it to be slow or fast, or that's slow, moderate, and fast. So based on your ability as to how you want it to be done, you can just set it to your level so that it will be adjusted to the student and how he or she can manipulate the device virtually, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Can the level of difficulty be adjusted for different students? It means that when you are buying, thank you, in adding up, when you are buying manipulative, you have to buy the one that the level can be adjusted. Because some of them can be used to teach basic, class one, the same manipulative, the concepts are almost similar. They will do addition, multiplication, what have you in class one, they will do in class two, they will do in class five, up to class six, just that the level of difficulties increases. So is it okay to adjust to be able to use to teach these different levels? That is okay. Can you go for the second person? So these are the factors to consider when you are buying manipulatives. So one of them is that you consider the level can be adjusted, difficulty level, or it can be adjusted for different groups. Anybody at all, what type of feedback do they provide? You can also ask, well, teachers need to provide feedback and support, because some of them you don't need to, students cannot do unless the teachers comes in to help. You need to, sometimes you have to support, you need to support them to do, and then have clear, how clear are the instructions for the use? Some of them look so complex, especially the new ones. If you don't know how it is being used and you just go in it, you just choose that one you want to use to learn. Meanwhile, you don't know how it's being used. You are going to suffer and you're going to leave your students into chaos. So you have to know that the instructions are clear for you before you can choose, because you have so many of them out there. All right, so that becomes factors to consider when choosing virtual manipulatives. And then we also know what's a virtual, because it's online version, so the factors are very important, the factors to consider. Sometimes they will ask you, provide feedback, the teacher, after you have done, because of the site you are using, they need your feedback for evaluation or what have you. And then you also know the virtual manipulatives are the online version or the digital version of the physical manipulatives. So that is the end of section 4. Any question so that you can look at section 5? We seem to be tired. Maybe I don't know whether we can finish section 5, then we stop section 6. We can meet for the weekend. If there's no question, we will share section 5 and then we can use to finish. We share it. So in this section 5, we are going to look at application of virtual manipulatives in mathematics applications. So even if I don't do it, I know you can read. Where are the, can we apply virtual mathematics in mathematics applications? So prepare yourself. You take one, you're telling me one of them. There are so many of them. So by the end, you should be able to illustrate applicative uses of virtual manipulatives in mathematics. And then we are going to look at the advantages and the disadvantages of virtual manipulatives in mathematics. They are very important. So the applications, there are several applications or applicative uses of virtual manipulatives. These are some of them. One of them is the pan balance numbers. So pan balance numbers is one of the series of virtual manipulatives available through a Millennials website that supports students in investigating the concept of equivalence. Because I already explained to you that one, because it's virtual, you just put the number here, you type the number here, you put them, so that the result that will give you, if the results are the same, then you can say that it's equivalent number. They normally use that one to also teach equivalent fraction, and then when you're putting an equal to sign to make sure they are equal, you can also use pan balance numbers. Maybe you can quickly Google and see how it is. All right, the rest can help me. Who is taking us tangrams? And then start to prepare for the next one. Tangrams. Don't be tired. We have very few minutes to go. Those who have not spoken, okay, to mention names.
So I'm reading.
Okay, go ahead.
Tangrams is a virtual manipulative available through the National Library of Virtual Manipulatives website. It is based on the ancient Chinese tangram blocks. The blocks can be dragged, rotated, and flipped in order to copy designs.
Oh, okay. You just read, but that's okay. I think the rest I will allow you to do it yourself because of right. So they are self-explanatory. Just read, and then educational Java programs you can just read. Eliminations. So elimination, you can talk about the NTC and then Marco Polo. So just try to read. It's just more of library. They are just something you can talk about it yourself. Math tools. These are very important because let's talk more about the projects interactive and then the math tools. Maybe you can talk more about the I want us to go straight to advantage and disadvantages, but let's talk more about the National Library of Virtual Manipulative for Interactive Maths. So developed at Utah State University and funded by the National Science Foundation, NSF. So the National Library of Virtual Manipulatives is a library of web-based interactive virtual manipulatives and concept tutorials. So here manipulatives are sorted by grade level and mathematics content area. So it's very good for you, and each manipulative includes instructions, suggestions, activities, lesson plans, and connections to relevant NTC standards, NCTM standards. So the manipulative include that are common use in teaching. You know, the base 10 blocks are commonly used in teaching. The pattern blocks and then the algebra blocks, they are very commonly used in teaching and other stuff. So that's where they have developed. And well, if you go there, you want to see manipulating for teaching fraction, you can get them. For teaching area of a circle, you can get them. We have just tried to group them like that. And some of them is the project interactive. Can somebody take us through the project interactive? And then Matt, we want to look at it too. Project interactive 2. Samuel, help us. And then Richard will take the math tools. So Samuel.
All right, so project interactive.
Okay.
Project Activate. Project Interactivate is deployed and maintained by Skoda Educational Foundation, a non-profit education and research organization that focuses on developing valid models to support understanding. It includes over 100 interactive tools and activities that allow students to explore mathematics. Tools and activities are categorized by mathematics content, number and operations, geometry and measurement, function and algebra, and data analysis and probability. All include explanations of how to use them in teaching and why the activity is useful. Many are incorporated into lesson plans that are also available, and some of these include downloadable worksheets to use in lesson. Also included is a discussion session that models how to introduce or explain different concepts to students.
All right, thank you for I said directive is interactivate. Yeah, interactivate. So I think it's self-explanatory because this one it's one difficult aspect here is that we are not used. Do you have somebody here? I know some of you are teaching in good private schools. That's using these kind of manipulatives. Can somebody tell us experience? Maybe some of the I know some of private schools in Accra, in Kumasi, in Shinjane. Yeah, very good. They try to use some. Do you have experience in that? Richard, you want to talk? Okay. All right. So can we go for the second one? Somebody was take us through the math tools.
Math tools, part of the Math Forum of Drexel University, includes a catalog of technology resources for mathematics on the web. The catalog includes hundreds of tools, lessons, and activities that are categorized and shareable by grade levels and content. Each has been submitted by a registered user, as a registration is free and open to all. Each includes a description, the technology type, be it Java, Applet, or Flash, and ratings, reviews, and discussions from other registered users of the site. Registered users can save any activity to their own My Math Tools portion of the site. The activities from Architect, Project Interactivate, and the National Library of Virtual Manipulatives are included in the catalog. Another feature is the research area, which monitors and summarizes research on the use of technology in mathematics education. Their virtual manipulatives include Khan Academy, GeoGebra, and so on. Virtual manipulatives may lead to more complex, richer understandings. Students need help understanding the concept that manipulatives represent. As prospective mathematics teachers, we play an important role in helping students understand the concepts that manipulatives represent. As mathematics teachers, if we are unable to represent mathematics concepts ourselves, we are more likely to use manipulatives as a diversionary rather than instructional activity.
All right, thank you very much. I know Khan Academy is one of the popular. You have to look for that, and then GeoGebra, you need to use GeoGebra. I know that you use GeoGebra to do some mass education. You need to work with GeoGebra. I don't know. Have you worked on GeoGebra before? Can I hear from
No,
the
sir.
class? All right, they are going to do a course. If I'm okay, maybe ICT in I've done ICT in mass education. Can I hear the class? Have you done ICT in mathematics education?
No, please.
No, sir.
Right, because you learn about the GeoGebra. It's very important. The GeoGebra is good in it. You have to know because it will really help you. And then you do more of Excel and Word and other stuff. Normally, yeah, because you will do them. You will do them. Okay. So that is more about we not talk, let's look at more about the advantages of talk, or we have a number of them. We're going to talk about 5, and then disadvantage we have 8. We can talk about 4. So at this advantages of virtual manipulatives, we need 5 people to talk, and then we can move. You tell us one, and then you quickly summarize advantages of virtual manipulatives. Who is helping us? Let's talk so that we can finish up virtual manipulative. You can start with any of the points you want to explain. Can we talk? Yes. Apart from Steven, who else? I want to see the hand. We have Steven, and then the next person, Suleiman. So add me to math and science. WhatsApp, please, and someone. Suleiman, I want you to talk. So prepare and talk about the second. After Steven, Suleiman will talk. Anybody at all? Suleiman wants somebody to add to the group, something group. Maybe somebody can see the comment. Yeah, there are some comments there you can check. Okay. All right. I know you are tired. You close right now. Let's talk about this. Vincent is there. Samuel is there. All right. So let's start with Stephen. After that,
All right.
let's go.
Okay, sir. So one of the advantages of virtual manipulations is it teaches students the underlying values and skills. Here, we are talking about the child able to solve problems using the virtual manipulations. And then it's also test the child's patience and attention, how the attention span and the the child's patience. So through that, it also shows how the child is able to think critically, and then deploying all the creativity when it comes to the virtual manipulative device, and then which is also enhance the child's concentration on the tool being used.
Okay, that's fine. Teaches underlying values and scores. Oh, that's fine. You talk about the patient, the attention, the critical thinking, concentration. Okay, can you go for the next person? The next person, which one are you talking? Vincent. After that, someone. Vincent, which point are you explaining? Unmute and talk. Seems you have mute.
Point 3.
All right, point 3.
Students will see real-life applications of concepts. So rather than teaching those concepts, manipulatives allow them to literally grasp each situation, and then they will feel the relevance of the concept.
Okay.
So here you don't have to talk much as teachers used to do then. These days you just have to introduce it. Yours is to just guide, and then students will learn on their own.
Okay, thank you. So that guy who says that would pi bring me money onto my table? Would pi bring me this one? I think the person, they didn't use manipulative to teach that person because he doesn't know the real application of area of a circle. Can area of circle give me money? Sometimes they used to say that on social media. So when you know the real application through manipulatives, that kind of misconception about mathematics is removed. It is removed. So it's very important. All right. Can we go to the next person? Someone. Unmute and talk, someone. Okay. You have muted now. Someone, you have to unmute. But we cannot hear you.
Okay, question for number 4.
Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Someone, go ahead.
Right. So the advantage of virtual manipulation is that students feel more capable and competent. In this sense, they are able to come out of themselves to create new things new things that may help in life, in life situations. And then going further, he says that because they do things on their own, yes. So like I've explained, students are able to apply their knowledge in mathematics to create new things. For example, recently you see that people come out with different models of actually in architectural field, okay, different kind of buildings that in the past have come out and today are still coming out as a result of some basis and understanding that people students develop in the class, and as well as the manipulation process. And then when you go further, it says that to discover things on their own, right? So it's not everything that the class teacher is able to give you. It's not everything that a student is able to learn within the class, in the class. But as the student tends to manipulate or tend to have his hands on these manipulative tools, he's able to learn some ways and means to bring about some innovative means of solving situations and problems of life. And so I think that's what I can contribute to.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is clear. Yeah, that's okay. That's very fine. And then there was another hand up. That is, I saw. Is it Richard? Your hand was up. Amos, and then you have 4. Richard. Okay. Amos.
Okay, sir, please, I want to talk on point 6.
Okay, let's go ahead. Point 6.
So point 6 says that immediate feedback, you know when it is right or wrong. As you explained, using the pan balance, when students are using that as a virtual manipulative, anytime that they put in values whether they are comparing or they are showing which one is greater or which one is lesser than the other, they get immediate response or immediate feedback as to what they want to do. And with that, it will motivate them to learn more.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that is well explained. And then the last one we take is it Paul, right? Yeah.
Say, yeah, point 4. It says one of the advantages is that it can keep the student occupied. Yeah, which is really true. With this, with the itself, the high achievers and the low achiever, everybody is occupied because they are all engaged. So we help them to participate fully, which will help them to get the understanding of the concept you want to teach. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I think the rest we leave it for you, and then we quickly look at the disadvantages. Except somebody requests a particular point you don't understand, we can help you to understand. Else, let's look at disadvantages of using virtual one. The first one I'll talk about is costly. At the beginning, I was saying it's very cheap, but remember, it can also be costly because you have to, you need to get a computer. Imagine if you want to buy abacus, it's very cheap, but here you need to buy a computer, you need to have internet source and other stuff. Power, electricity, it can be expensive. So that is costly. But when you have them too, it can be there forever. So it's good to get that one for organization or school. It's better to put that more money from the beginning, then you can use it forever or forever, rather than buying the 10 physical object, it will spoil, you buy again, you spoil. But the next 10 years or 20 years, 10 years time, you see that physical one has given a lot of cost rather than putting more money from the beginning and keeping it, and which then can be used over and over and over. So that's costly disadvantage. Okay, the rest, can somebody, we need 3 people or 4 to talk about the cost aspect, so that we move ahead. The ladies, are you okay? Amos, you want to talk about the cost? Because your hand is up. Okay. The class looks tired. Okay, let me help you. It has to be carefully planned and takes a lot of time. There are a lot to consider when using manipulative. But here, especially when it comes to the virtual and the concrete, it's carefully, it should be carefully planned and takes a lot of time because has to be carefully planned. It takes a lot of time because it's the internet version. You don't know how it's going to be. As a teacher, you need to plan, and then it's not something like physical. You can stand in front of your school and then a class and show them do this, they all do this, they all do. Now, if you want to do that, you have to get a projector. You project, you tell them do this, they all check that one, they do, they follow you. If you want to also do individual basis, it's also become difficult. Or somebody can call them and you should plan how it's going to do. And there is a difficulty, or complexity just right for the students. So will they get and understand the underlying concepts? Is this too fun or too boring? It depends on how you are going to use. It can be too fun, it can be too, but the physical one is always preferable. And then those students who are not from the rich home, who are not from the world to do, they don't have computer at their home, their houses. And at that stage, when you let them come to use something on computer, it can be very fun for them because they are pressing computer. I remember my boy, even not from where to do home. Once they are children, they like computer stuff, anything with light and phones, computer. I remember I was in Ghana and then my boy will come and say, I want to use the computer. All that he needs is press when I on my computer, just press on the computer, the laptop, and that's all. He's very happy. Children are happy, especially when you teach him something on it and then he's pressing and then navigating on one play. He becomes so happy because it's computer he's using. The name is computer. It doesn't matter where the background the person is coming from. It's very fun for them. And those who have grown up and then they've not also gotten opportunity to use computers. I remember if you have one computer in the village school, everybody want to use the computer because they are not they don't have computers at their various houses. So that's also another one. And then can actually touch them, and then cannot actually touch them. I remember I told you that virtual one, you cannot touch them. You cannot see and feel like the physical one. The student can hold it and see the weights and then the sizable and other thing. Here it doesn't apply because they cannot touch them. No instruction on how to enter a problem. Can show model for some content not yet available because it's a new. Some content or some topics, some modules are not available because virtual one are, yeah, there are research ongoing and people are talking again. People are still developing. Like when AI came in, the whole people, there was one workshop I went, and this big professor, a very big professor from France, and then we talk, and then I asked him a question about what is his stand in AI. He told me that it's a deceiving world. They are deceiving people. So he doesn't want anything about AI because nothing there is true. He didn't want to hear anything about AI in his life. He doesn't want anything. But now, see what the AI is doing. Because it came at the beginning, people don't like it. Now, so many people are trying to like AI because of the powerful nature of AI that it can do. Though people are abusing AI, but some aspects, it also makes things very easy. AI. So that's how it is. So there are some content that the virtual manipulators have not captured yet, which are still yet to come. All right, so that will end us to the. You can read the rest, the section 5. That is the uh, virtual manipulative. That is advantage and disadvantages of virtual manipulatives. So we'll end here because we are tired. Any question for that? Any question for me from the class?
No,
Any
sir.
contribution? You can contribute. You can add anything. All right. No contribution. I know people are hungry. Tomorrow, tomorrow morning you have a class, so I will leave you to have your good day and prepare for your tomorrow class. We shall meet on. Do you have to meet for next week? There's a class. Okay, we don't need to meet for the one section.